Hi guys, I'm Heidi Kemper, psychic medium.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cathy Metry, intuitive, and welcome to Scorpio Rising. Okay, guys, I'm so excited. We have a lot of surprises today, and Heidi and I are going to talk a little bit about them. Number one is, and it's kind of been in the works for a few weeks now. The Spirit Channel has offered me another show. And so it's bittersweet because I am so in love with Scorpio Rising and I'm going to miss Heidi so much. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about this new show. And I had quite a few people write in and just kind of asked to cover some subjects. And so I'm doing it.
It's bittersweet because we have so much fun starting it out together, but everybody wants more of us. So, how best to do it than to split and divide and conquer? So, Cathy and my show will be opposite weeks of each other. So, I will stay with Scorpio Rising, the original, and Cathy's going to go off and do her own. What is your show going to be called, Cathy?
The Metry mindset. I want to talk about the development of intuition, fear versus your intuition and how to connect that, and also education. So, a lot of times, our intuition is, it's way out of whack. We're having trouble in our relationships. So, we don't know, is this fear? How come I feel this? How come I think something's going on and I don't know why? Is it self talk? Is it coming from a point of insecurity? Or is it your intuition operating correctly and you need to pay attention? And for instance, a lot of the questions that I get are, oh my gosh, I'm afraid that my spouse is cheating. Or what do I do if I need to get out of this relationship or this marriage? And they don't know the first thing about it. And so I'm going to bring on one of the top attorneys in Michigan and talk to her a little bit about the education of these things and the intuition that you need to harness and the fear you may need to get rid of just so you can move ahead in life positively with your spouse. So those are some issues we're going to talk a little bit. My class is coming up on intuitive development with the tarot.
Same with Scorpio Rising. We're just going to continue to do a lot of the same things, interviewing experts in the field, also newbies in the field, because I think it's good to look at the vast difference between those that are new to it and those that are experienced, and just continue to develop that. For the month of September, I'm going to focus on astrology, and the month of October, I'm going to focus on witches. I can't wait to bring on some wonderful witches that I met in my time on the Ghost Finders. So I am excited about that. So lots of exciting things coming up, lots of exciting guests, and you guys will get to see more of us.
It's been such a rich path. And the people that we've met on this show, I have to say, like, I do have some favorites. I can't help it, but I love everybody because I have learned something from every single person that
Right.
we've had on the show. And I wanted to ask you, like, a few things that we can share in regards to some things that stick out from what I learned. Now, I know our first guest, which actually was one of our uh, most watched shows. It was
Yeah.
like through the roof crazy. And we had interviewed Rob Thompson, the founder and producer and star of Ghost Finders, which was, absolutely fabulously famous. And he was an absolute I mean, it was just, I learned so much from him. And the one thing I can say that is so refreshing about this industry was that Rob, outside of his through the roof intuition and, nationally reading, internationally reading for people. I mean, I know he's from England, and he is a man. He is a man that is a great example of somebody that has, number one, an extremely heightened sense of intuition. Um, and that is a great example for men to understand you have an intuition too. You are not, it's not a feminine pattern, it's not
Right.
just a feminine like trait. And I love the fact that he is leading
Yeah.
in
He's
that
a leader in the
manner.
field, leader man in the field.
Yes.
And that's what we need. And that's what we talked about. We asked, one of the questions we asked on the show of him was, how many men have you read for? Like how much of your clientele is men? And he said almost 100% women. And I think that that is something that, society that we're going to benefit from, is to bring more men into this. So, having leaders like Rob in the field that is a man, giving the male perspective of things. And so, Rob is a dear friend of mine, and one of the producers for the Spirit Channel. So he also has his show on here, Fireside Chats, and the Ghost Finders is also here on the Spirit Channel for you guys to watch. So it's a wonderful series. One of the longest running independent filmmakers, Rob and Heather, producing the Ghost Finders for 12 years. So there's episodes, season 12, you'll find me as the guest psychic medium. And we've got some new episodes coming out this fall also. So, lots of great content. The Spirit Channel is on fire. And Cathy and I have gotten such a great response from you guys, and you guys wanting more of us. The reality is there's only so much of us to go around. We both are very busy in our practices, and we're not able to film every week. So we found that, separating and conquering would be the best way to do it. So I appreciate everybody's support and everybody's love in getting us all here. And I just can't wait to give you guys more. And so one of the things that we would like is for you guys to continue writing in and letting us know, reaching out to Cathy and I, and letting us know things you want to learn about, things you want to hear about, because there is so much to learn. And that's what the Spirit Channel is about, is empowering people with knowledge, and creating a space for all of us to go to elevate the world, and to make love and joy and peace something that everybody is able to find within themselves. It takes work to get there, but we're going to have the tools to help you do it, and the people, the experts, that are going to help you get there.
Do you remember when we were young and everyone carried like a rabbit's foot?
Yes.
Do you remember? It was like
Yes.
good luck and everything. I'm getting one. I want a rabbit's foot.
Do they even sell those anymore?
They
I don't even know.
They do. I was out with my girlfriend, and I looked at her keychain, and she had this really cool like rabbit's foot. And I know it sounds weird, but first of all, everybody needs to know, folks, they don't like kill rabbits for their feet. These are this is like
not real.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, they are real, but they are rabbits that have like passed or whatever, like their farms. And I mean, I don't know, whatever. It's not like
you raised rabbits. You raised rabbits growing up.
I did.
Yeah.
I love bunnies, but I know, like with you, there's no question. I mean, like everywhere you turn, there's a rabbit. But yeah,
so our last guest together, Ellen Goldberg, was absolute gem. What a wonderful, and talk about somebody as an expert in her field. I loved how I never realized when she made the point about all the different esoteric arts, tarot, palm reading, Akashic record reading, that they all connect, that they all are going to say the same thing. Right. And so that right there shows you the validity of the work that we do, of the esoteric arts. They're all, I mean, how could your palm say that you have health, and
in your Akashic records say you have health, and it would be interesting to do like 5 independent stations, have somebody go to each station and get a reading, and then to compare how each one of them, connected. I found that fascinating. I was like, I never thought of it that way. Mediumship's a little bit different, because you're making a connection and you're channeling that information. Um, but all of the other stuff, being a psychic also for me, being able to read people's Akashic records, you being an expert tarot reader, being able to read the tarot, and we're going to get the same thing just in a different way. So I just find that fascinating. I thought, and, I thought it was one of the things that I learned, and an inclusion of what you're saying is that when I read her book, that back in, like, we go back to 2000 BC, and, they use the hand. Okay. They use the hand to understand a person's, medical vulnerabilities, and
Mhm.
understand healing, and
Mhm.
and what they were deficient in, from their nails to their hands to the line. I
Right.
mean, so it really, and it made a lot of sense. And even with being a tarologist, again, everything is energy, right? Everything is connected. And so a lot of people think it's like, oh, you're like, you're doing this, you're doing that. They all interact. They all interact. And one of the things that she also mentioned in her book, um, in regards to that, was that, you know, she said something, that it is all about intuitive development. It's like when you go in the gym and you're going to work out, you're building that muscle, you're building that muscle, you're building that muscle, and you're just pushing, you're pushing, you're pushing everything that's not supposed to be there out. Think about it. And
Mhm.
so when you're developing your intuition, it's the mental workout. And
Right.
it's an understanding of that symbolism, and that understanding of your subconscious and your conscious, and how it's acting together. And the purer that you make it, the more your mind is like a machine, just like your body when
Right.
you're working out. And I kind of took a lot of what it said in her book in that way, to really have a synchronized explanation and how to, after reading her book. I love her. And I'll tell you, I still think it was like definitely meant to be. She was on our show, and she had no idea how I found her number. And I'm calling New York, and she answers her phone the first shot. And she's this woman that, she's a best-selling author. She has a school in New York. I mean, she's really amazing woman. And she answered her phone, and she could not figure out where I got her number. And I could
Yeah.
never find, there was like this little number at the bottom of something I was reading about. And I thought I'd give it a try. And she said, I don't have my number on the internet. So
When
I don't
does
know how
her
you
next
got it.
book? When does her next book come out? The
Uh,
tarot. She's writing a book about
she's
the
writing a book
minor.
about the minor arcana. And the minor arcana, there's the major arcana and there's the minor arcana. I always put the minor arcana as, I mean, it's very important, because without the minor arcana, you can't really synthesize and symbolize how it works with the major arcana. So, just for those of you who don't know, in tarot cards, there's 21 trumps, and those are the major arcana cards. That means, like, you're going to see things that probably could be destiny, but again, remember, we have free will.
Right.
And this is so important. Like, I will do a reading, and I'm seeing all this success in business, but I have to remind people, God is not going to swoop down and get you there. You have to work on it yourself, and you have to understand this is available to you. Catch the ball, work at it, run the track, run the
Right.
race.
Do the
And
self work. Do the self work. Figure out what could be holding you back. Figure out the stories that you tell yourself. Figure out what those. My next guest that is going to be on is a life coach Carmen Buhalis, and she is an amazing life coach, and she coaches women in specific, and it's all about women empowerment and helping women identify those stories that we tell ourselves that hold us back. And you and I being intuitives, and with a gift, any kind of gift we have, whether it's the gift of acting or the gift of medicine, law, any kind of work we do, whatever we do in life, however we show up as parents, as friends, as employees, things are going to stop us on our path if we have these stories that we're telling ourselves. So really identifying what those stories are and working on those and trying to heal those, because nobody's perfect. We all have things we have to work on, and just having that awareness of, okay, I have a self-worth issue, or I have an issue with trust, and really identifying those things, because they will hold us back. They will stop us in our path. And, I think that's why self-empowerment and self-improvement is really important too. And that's why I'm going to have this guest on. And I think she's really going to resonate with a lot of people. So I'm really excited about getting her on and sharing her with everybody. So
When in answer to your question on Ellen's book, she's going to be, as soon as her book is published, she's going to be on the show.
perfect.
And it will be fabulous. I can't wait, because even being a tirologist, there are a million things that I want to learn.
Yeah.
It never ends. It never ends.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch.
So I have to talk about Kathleen, because I friggin' love her. Kathleen Pitt. She's
one of a kind. One of a kind.
She was probably like our third or fourth guest. I can't remember, but she was also really high in the viewership. And I don't know if any of you remember Kathleen Pitt, and she really talked about the quantum field. And
she's a perfect example of somebody new. She's just starting on this journey. She's tells the story of how she's a nurse, and how she found out she was psychic about 7-8 years ago, and how she really raised her family and found that she was missing something, and one day was like, I need more, and tried all these different paths and kept listening to her intuition and found her path. And so I think she's another example of somebody who is maybe not an expert, but definitely one of a kind. And her work in the quantum field, oh, amazing. We don't hear about that a lot.
Yeah. And in my experience too, I'm really drawn to energy. And she has superior energy.
Yes.
And it's a magnet. When you get to that point of being in a higher, vibrating so high, people they come to you. You're like a magnet. And she was one of those people that when I first met her, it was like I could hardly stop, wanting to know more.
Yep.
And I really didn't understand what the quantum field was.
Right. And I think a lot of our viewers we're in the same boat, which is why I thought it was such a popular show.
It was. And I really think for some viewers that are just tuning in, the quantum field, which I learned, was infinite. It is basically what we live in. It doesn't have a concept of time. It is all energy, and we're energy.
Everything's possible in the quantum. That's what I love.
Exactly. And that was what I learned. I mean, tune into that again. I mean, I think people should watch that one. It is quite amazing.
Yep.
So I really thought that it might be, I just really going down memory lane. I have just had like so many wonderful people here. Can't wait to see more people on Scorpio Rising. And I can't wait to bring new people and a multitude of different topics that all have to do with growth and empowerment. And also, I thought Heidi I'd love it if you draw an angel card.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
just
For your tarot.
let's take a look. And I'll draw a card and just kind of give a little universal message to everybody, something to think about, something to ponder about.
Yeah.
Um,
You go first. You go first.
you want me to go first? Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. Let's see what we've got, audience. Let's see.
I'll start shuffling my cards. So I have become better at tarot. So the first thing that got me in, if some of you have watched our previous shows, tarot is what originally was my first thing at 19 years old. And absolutely love tarot, and kind of moved away from it as a total Gemini. Wanted to learn everything, learned astrology, and then kept learning all of the different things. And now I'm returning back to it. And Cathy's really helped me develop my tarot skills. And I'm looking forward to taking her class. Cathy, when are you going to start rolling that out? And is it going to be on your website? And I've got a lot of people that I'm sending your way. And I know Kathleen's one of the people that wants to take it. I've got like 3 people to send you. So when are you starting?
It's starting the second week after Labor Day, so after school gets in.
Good. Perfect.
Yes. So I will get it on my website. We can advertise it, on the channels, and we'll go from there. But I am very excited.
And I'm taking it too. I'm going to help you still, but I still am going to, I want to take it because
yeah, I want you to take it.
I want to get better and better and better. Like anything I mean, we never stop learning. There's always something to learn new, right?
Yes. So what I pulled today is a really interesting card. It's the 9 of Swords. And what this message is that really what it's saying is that for people that are experiencing a lot of fear or anxiety or putting self limitations on themselves, it is all coming from a point of fear. It's not real. And I always like to say this: fear is false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
So to kind of dissect that down, what we're looking at is that you might want to get out of a bad situation, but you're afraid to be alone. You might want to, you don't know how to get out of your financial situation. And so there's so much anxiety that you're blowing it up way out of proportion. It's not real because, again, fear is false evidence appearing real. And you may be in a real situation financially, or in a bad marriage, or you might want to move, and it's all really fearful, and you have anxiety. Will I have enough money? Will I do this? Will I do that? Well, you cannot live in the what ifs. You just can't, because it stagnates your life. And what you need to do is live in the, okay, yeah, I might be afraid of that, but like, I can depend on myself. I have everything I need. Why am I going to worry about this? Why? Because you have to remember, when you have fear and when you have worry and when you have anxiety, okay, where can you go from there? Nowhere. But if you decide to push that away, and you have you have your intelligence, you have your strength, you have your abilities to do what you always do, then now you're building yourself instead of breaking yourself and being stagnant. So that's what the 9 of Swords means today. So anybody that is in a feeling of stagnation, or, stunting their thinking, whatever it may be, you can reduce it down to one thing, and that's fear, and get it out of the way because it's not real, and work hard. So that's my tarot card today. What did you got for an angel card?
I love that. And just to add on to what you said, like just trusting that the universe has your back, that God has your back, that that these stories that we tell ourselves are not real, that's what's stopping us and keeping us back, and really trusting that the universe is going to catch us. So yeah, I love that message. So angel cards are more of like an oracle card. And I have an old deck that I got as a gift from a friend years ago, my friend Ed. And I pulled today the 10 of air, and it's a card with a bunch of unicorns on it, which unicorns to me symbolize magic, all possibilities. Maybe, some people say unicorns aren't real. Well, to me, they're real, just like fairies are real and gnomes are real and all of that is real. So, in the bottom of the card, it says, the end of a difficult situation, embrace the change and accept things to get better now. Recovering from an addiction, too, it could be. So, this is just coming on the other side of things, realizing that in this picture, there's a bunch of unicorns that are going down a path. And this path is one path, and it's one path out into the light. And so it's just a message for those who are in the dark to really follow your third eye, which is, your little unicorn horn, to follow your intuition, to follow that third eye, to trust, to use your intuition to guide you out, and to know that, to really embrace the change and expect them to get better. Don't go into it thinking, oh, this is the end of something. It means that it's bad. It means that if it's an end, it means that something went wrong to end something. But endings are not always bad. Endings are an opportunity for a new story to be written.
So I'm like excited. So for everybody, and we have absolutely the best network, like you said. I love the Spirit Channel. I'm honored that the producers have put so much faith into me and into offering me this, and in starting our Scorpio Rising. I mean, I feel honored, and they're really.
It's been life changing. It's been life
Yes.
changing to have that platform, and to make that connection, and to really have people who I'm friends with that I didn't really know were interested in it to start having comments about it and questions, and it's opening up that dialect. So, lots of good things to come. So, thanks everybody, and we'll see you both soon, everybody soon on both of our shows. So, we look forward to it. And again, reach out, any ideas, any feedback, we're all ears.
And click the subscription button. Subscribe, 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 subscribe. Don't
And
make me pull.
if you use
Don't
the
make
cord,
me pull a bad card. Goodbye, everybody. I love you. I'll see you soon. I'm not far away anyway. So stay tuned for Metry Mindset. And I love you, Scorpio Rising. I will see you soon. Bye, Heidi.
bye.